Hello, 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 and today we're doing a big Euro 2020 final prediction video, and we're going to cover everything you could possibly want. So smash a like on it, comment your predictions for this Euro 2020, which kicks off, yes, you better believe it, in just 8 days' time. So it's so exciting. Smash a like on the video, let's get into it. This is the one you've been waiting for. Let's do this. It's going to be a great one. And there's going to be a lot I'm going to go through. Basically predicting everything. Predicting the final groups, the scores, the scorers, the, way that the last 16 and the, quarterfinals will look in my kind of version of it. All that juicy stuff. So it's going to be a really good one. So I'm going to need a drink or two to get me through it, but it'll be fine. And also, just as a heads up, I've just seen that the legendary YouTuber, that is James Alcott, has just posted a video about the Premier League. Obviously, we know that the 16th of June, that's the day that the fixtures will be released for the 2021-22 season. Can't wait for that. The Horns are back in the Prem. But they've done a really interesting video, or should I say he's done a really interesting video on the best, or at least the most needed signing for each new Premier League club. One of those teams, of course, being Brentford. Congratulations. What a result it was against Swansea in the final. I went for a 3-1 Brentford win. It was 2-0. So, I'll take that goal difference, but just the 5 points there. And ultimately, it was a great moment for Brentford. So, it will be interesting to see who they get on the 16th of June. They haven't been in the top division since 1947, and that was last a game against Arsenal. So, yeah, very interesting stuff indeed. But go check out that video by James Alcott. I'm sure that I will be looking over that quite a few times before the transfer window opens officially, which is the 9th of June. So stay tuned for that. But it's time, people, to do the juicy bit, and that is predict these Euros outcomes and moments. So before we get into it, we're going to go through all of the Euro 2020 squads, and player by player we'll just kind of brief you on who's been selected. And I'll admit, I made a mistake in my last video about the Portugal team. I thought that it would be 23-man squad after a 26-man squad, but then I realised actually that would be too brutal. You just couldn't have that happen to a player. So they are allowing 26-man squad for this, tournament because of, all the problems with COVID. And yeah, there's been a lack of there's been a very congested fixture schedule for a lot of leagues, but there's been a lack of regular rests for some players. And obviously we've got these last minute injuries for a few players. So yeah, it is 26 players. So actually, talking of that, on Friday, I will be doing a very interesting video reacting to my original Portugal 23-man squad prediction and basically seeing how that differs from the one that's been released. So let's go through all of these Euro 2020 squads. The 24 teams have confirmed it for that big tournament running from the 11th of June until the 11th of July. An interesting player this Euros, I think, will be David Alaba. And Austria, I did say in my previous video, they're my ones to watch. I don't think they're going to go all the way. That would be a bit silly of me. And it will be a tough one with their Netherlands in their group. But I just feel they've got some decent players. Marko Arnautovic didn't play in the, friendly or warm-up game, you should say, with England. But they've still got a lot of threats. Sabitzer, Alaba, and of course, we know that in goal, Daniel Bachmann, what a legend. But no, on a serious note, I do think Austria could do quite well. And I think Alaba could be an interesting part of that. And interestingly enough, with the squads that have been picked, Spain are the only team that have not named 26 players. So we'll get into that in a bit. But it's been a bit unfortunate, really. Some of the injuries, some of the illnesses. And, one noticeable thing is Sillerson, the goalkeeper for Netherlands, who would usually be playing, he won't be in these Euros because he's got COVID-19. So that is unfortunate, but that will be shown in these squads. So let's get into them. The first one is Austria. We got Daniel Bachmann. What a legend. Let's hope he gets some games. It would be really good for him to kind of do it on an international stage. We've then got Pavao Pervan from Wolfsburg, and then Alexander Schlager. Then we've got David Alaba, who qualifies as a defender, but let's be honest, he can play at left wing, so he takes set pieces, he's very attacking, he's a very good player for Bayern Munich, but he's going to hope to do it on a national stage as well. Alexander Dragovic from Leverkusen, Marco Friedel from Werder Bremen, Martin Hinteregger, Stefan Leiner, he likes to whip in a good ball. We've also got Philipp Lienhardt, Stefan Posch, and Andreas Ulmer. So those are the defenders. Midfielders, you've got Julian Baumgartlinger, I should say, from Bayer Leverkusen, Christoph Baumgartner from Hoffenheim, Florian Grilitic from Hoffenheim, Stefan Ilsanker, Konrad Leimer, Valentino Lazaro, Karim Onisiwo, Marcel Sabitzer, Louis Schwab, Xaver Schlager, Alessandro Schoft, and Christopher Trimmel. And then up front, Marko Arnautovic, Sasa Kalajidzic from Stuttgart. A lot of people have been saying about him. And also you've got Michael Gregorich from Augsburg. So that's the Austria team done and dusted. Belgium, we've got an interesting 26-man team. Thibaut Courtois, Simon Mignolet, and Mats Sells from Strasbourg. Toby Alderweireld, Dedrick Boyata, Timothy Castagna is in the team, but will he start? That's the question. It depends if they play 3 at the back or 4 at the back, but they do like to have sometimes those overlapping fullbacks, and, you know, Thomas Meunier from Dortmund can play at that right back spot, so it's how that, you know, negotiates a spot for Castagna. We'll find out. Jason Denayer from Lyon. Then we've got, as we mentioned, Thomas Meunier, Thomas Vermaelen, who I'm not sure about his fitness. He might have a few injuries, but he's still in the squad, so he's clearly got something in him to play. And then Jan Vertonghen, of course, from Portugal side Benfica. Now we've got Nasser Chedli playing for Istanbul Basaksehir, Yannick Carrasco, Kevin De Bruyne, and it's obviously a doubt with De Bruyne whether he can play these group games. People think that he will just get in there and get involved, and he'll just be a bit like Anthony Rudiger recently, wear the mask, and he'll be all right. But there's a bit of uncertainty with that, so it could be a big one and a big miss for Belgium because he's their key creative man. And I actually did predict him to be the top assister, so that wouldn't be good for our predictions either. But fingers crossed. Let's see if he can play, and if not, then it will be, you know, probably later on in the games in the tournament. Leander Dendoncker is an interesting one. I don't know if he'll start, but still a good option. Eden Hazard has not had a great season with Real Madrid, but he can often rely on his national form. Thorgan Hazard, who can also play in defence, but yeah, the brother of Eden there from Dortmund. Dennis Pratt, again, I'm not sure how much he'll get involved, but he's still a very useful player for Belgium. Yuri Tielemans, what a player he's been this season. What a goal in the FA Cup final. By the way, we predicted that Chelsea game to be a Chelsea dub, so Leicester defied the odds. Fair play, and no points for me there in the predictions, but Tielemans is a star player. Hans Van Aken from Club Brugge, and finally, a player who I didn't think would be in this team because I thought he was ruled out with injury, but it's Axel Witsel, so fair enough. Up front, you got Michi Batshuayi, Christian Benteke, who's, you know, ended the season really, really well. Jeremy Doku, Romelu Lukaku, who will be a favourite for the Golden Boot. Dries Mertens, who's very, very attacking and, you know, got a lot of threat. And another player who can play a bit more further forward, who's had a good season this time around, Leandro Trossard. So a very strong team there for Belgium. Interesting stuff. Dominik Liakovic is next from Croatia's goalkeepers. Lovre Kalinic, I'd imagine he would be in goal. And one that wouldn't be in goal is the backup for Croatia and the actual starter for Luton Town. That's Simon Sluga. So, yeah, interesting array of goalkeepers there. We've then got in defence Borna Barisic, Domagoj Bradaric from Lille, Duje Kaleta Kar from Marseille, Josko Javadio, Josip Juranovic, Dejan Lovren from Zenit, Mile Skoric, Domagoj Vida from Besiktas, and Sime I should say, Verislakio from Atletico Madrid. Very good player he is. Mateo Kovacic is next. Luka Modric, it's going to be probably one of his last tournaments, so he's going to want to bow out in style. Marcelo Brozovic, very good player from Inter Milan. I'm just aware of charge, so I don't want to be running out of that. Let me just sort that out for you people. Milan Badelj from Genoa. We've got Nikola Vlasic, very good player as well. Mario Pasalic from Atalanta. Ivan Perisic, he's had a great season at Inter Milan. Mislav Orsic and Luka Ivanusek from Dynamo Zagreb. So up front, you've got Josip Brekalo. Again, very nice player from Wolfsburg. Ante Budimir, Osasuna. Andre Kramaric, who has had his ups and downs, especially for club action. But he's decent in terms of a forward for his team in the national stage. Bruno Petkovic. And finally, Ante Rebic, who's been tearing it up for AC Milan. I think he used to play for Real Madrid as well. Czech Republic now, and they've got Alas Mandu, Juri Pavlenka, and Tomas Vaklik, the goalkeeper for Sevilla. Jan Boril is the first goal defender, I should say. Slavia Praha. They seem to often be from Slavia Praha for Czech Republic, but fair enough. They produce a lot of good talent there. Jakub Brabek. Then we've got Andrei Selustica from also Slavia Praha. The ex-Slavia Praha man, that is Vladimir Kufal from West Ham. Pavel Kadyrabek. Then Thomas Kalas, Bristol City man, of course. Thomas Holes from Slavia Praha. Ales Matiju and David Zima. Then we've got in midfield Antonin Barak, Vladimir Darida, Jakub Jankto, very good player, I rate him, from Sampdoria. Alex Krau, Spartak Moskva. Lucas Masopust, Jakub Pesek, Michal Sadalik, Petr Sevcik, and of course, the star man for West Ham this season, Tomas Souček. Now, we've got Adam Hozlek, we've got Michael Kurumenik, Thomas Peckhart, Patrick Schick from Leverkusen, very good signing. Well, not signing, but starter, I should say, up front. And Mate Vidra. How much he'll get involved is, still to be known, but I'm not sure about that. The Burnley man, of course. We move on to Denmark. They've got some decent goalkeepers, to be fair. Jonas Lørsel, Kasper Schmeichel, and Frederick Ronno from Schalke. Joachim Andersen from relegated Fulham. Nikolai Boylesen, Andreas Christensen of Chelsea, Matthias Jorgensen, or I think they used to call them was it Zamba or something? They have a nickname for him. I don't know. He used to play for Huddersfield. Simon Kjaer, very good centre-back from AC Milan. Joachim Maeli, with the A and the E kind of just merged together, a bit like Kjaer. Jens Stryger Larsen, Udinese, Watford's, kind of linked club there. And of course, Yannick Vestergaard. He's going to be a threat from set pieces, the Southampton centre-back. There's Anders Christiansen from Malmo. Thomas Delaney, he's ever present in that midfield for Denmark. The Dortmund man. Christian Eriksen, of course, they're going to be once again reliant on him, but they have to learn to play too much without their reliance on him. The Inter Milan midfielder, who's obviously made that move from Spurs a few seasons back. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, the now Tottenham man, who's had a pretty good season with the London club, despite them not getting top six. He has been decent. Matthias Jensen just got promoted with Brentford. Christian Norgard also promoted with Brentford, so they've got a bit of a Danish revolution there. Robert Skov from Hoffenheim, I rate him. He's not had the most amazing last few seasons, but he used to be really, really good. And of course, Daniel Was from Valencia. Martin Braithwaite, don't forget about him from Barcelona. Andreas Cornelius, Mikael Damsgaard, Kasper Dolberg from Nice, Andreas Skov Olsen, Yusuf Poulsen, and Jonas Wind. How much Wind will play, we don't know. The Copenhagen man, but we'll see what happens. Now, England, I've got to say, is a very interesting one. I looked at it, I saw it come through, and I thought, interesting. Dean Henderson, we thought that was going to happen because it's such a shame to see Nick Pope injured and not able to come to the Euros because he would have been, for me, my number one. But it is what it is. Dean Henderson has had a pretty good season at Man United. He's not had a great season in the fact that he's not had that consistency, he's not had that longevity, he's still not getting played enough. But when he has played for Manchester United this season, alright, he's made the odd mistake, but most goalkeepers do. And there's so much scrutiny around that position in goal for Man United. And I think Henderson actually played quite well in recent games, and that's why he's kind of earned his position into that side ahead of De Gea. So he ended the season pretty well, I'd say, and he'll be a decent backup for Jordan Pickford. The third goalie, who's not going to play, but it's good to see, appreciating his, value and his importance and quality he showed at West Brom. Despite their relegation, he made a lot of big saves, and that is Sam Johnston. So, yeah, shout out to him. He's done well, and that was one I didn't see coming. So, he's our third goalie. And then Jordan Pickford. There's still a lot of debate about whether he should be picked. I don't think he's still quite, but I know he's got the tournament experience, but he's just not solid enough. He's got, very flappy arms. He really does struggle to hold on to balls, and he's got quite, short arms as well. So it's kind of like he will struggle to kind of stretch out to things. But no, generally, he does have that tournament experience. He did do pretty decent at the World Cup in 2018. And again, of course, making those kind of penalty saves and scoring a penalty of his own, I think, in the Nations League or one of those competitions. So, yeah, Pickford is certainly the man, the favourite, but is he perfect? I'm not sure when comparing to Dean Henderson. But Pickford will probably be in between the sticks, the Everton man. Now we get into the defence, and this is the controversial one, I think, because why Gareth Southgate has chosen so many defenders, 10, is just absolutely crazy. I mean, you've got 3 goalkeepers, that's quite a lot, but to have 10 defenders, it just isn't needed. When you look at some other teams, like Denmark, for instance, who we just looked at, they haven't got a massive amount of defenders, but they haven't got 10. And it's just like, we've got players in the same positions, you've got centre-backs that might not play, but with Trent Alexander-Arnold, he proved his point after everyone was saying, oh yeah, you should leave him out. He ended the season so strongly, but now we know, of course, that injury in the Austria game is a gutting blow for them. So, yeah, the Liverpool right-back probably is first choice in the fact that he can offer so much going forward. He can track back, but he just is a bit more attacking than defensive. So that's a difficult one. But, yeah, interesting to see him get ahead there. And apparently he knew about that inclusion in the squad like 3 weeks before it was released. So fair enough. He kind of brought back the kind of trust with Southgate, and he did do really well at the end of the season. Ben Chilwell, that's a difficult one as well because, he's not maybe the favourite one. Luke Shaw has been amazing this season, but he did just win the Champions League with Chelsea. He did put in a good performance. And, with Ben Chilwell, he's so attacking as well. He can get into those positions. He can whip in great balls. And he's had a pretty good season after his transfer from Leicester City. So, yeah, it's a difficult one to decide who plays at left back, but still a very good player. Connor Cody as well. I think that's a very nice pick because he's been brilliant this season and you've got to just give him credit. And I remember in the Premier League, that Spurs game, yeah, all right, Tottenham won the game 2-0, but he made so many big moments and he cleared it off the line. He kind of was just so solid this season for Wolves, and despite their defensive problems, he was their one consistent player. So yeah, it's nice to see him get that kind of move. And yeah, all right, you can say maybe he's not the most agile of defenders, but he's very strong, and maybe he can go up against good kind of pace. I don't know, but when you just saw that Champions League final and Timo Werner completely destroy John Stones with pace, maybe it gives a nice alternative. Reece James is next, and I think he's our most complete right back, to be honest. He offers something going forward, but he's also very good in tracking back and defensively. As we saw in the Champions League final, he kind of made a mockery out of Raheem Sterling. He had him in his back pocket all game. So, yeah, you've got to give Reece James a lot of credit. He's been amazing this season. He scored an absolute screamer against Brighton early in the season, but I think he's probably going to be our starting right back. It just depends on the formation. If we play 3 at the back, we can have Walker as a right-sided centre-back, or we can have Reece James as that conventional right back. So he's very good in this squad. Harry Maguire, Man United's centre-back, and of course had a bit of problem at the start of the season with, Greece and all that went on there. But in terms of Maguire, he's had a great season. He's been very solid. Unlucky to get injured for Manchester United. But we'll see about the first game. He might not play, and maybe he'll play after that. But it's unfortunate stuff, really. Tyrone Mings, I guess he's had a good season, but he started the season well, and then he did kind of dip quite a lot in form. He's a decent option, and he does, put his body on the line, but I just don't feel like he's got the pace right now, and I feel like it's a little bit of an overhyped player, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. I don't know. Luke Shaw, Man United, we mentioned him. He's had a great season. He deserves to be in this England team in some way or another. John Stones, equally very good season, but that has been helped by the coaching of Pep Guardiola, who's kind of made him a better player and been able to play out with his feet a bit more, and he's been very, very solid. The link-up between them and Ruben Diaz, they've just kind of revolutionised each other, so he's been amazing. Kieran Trippier, I mean, realistically, do a lot of people watch Atletico's games? Probably not, but he did have a decent season, I guess, for Atletico to win the title, and he's still a decent opportunity in that right-back spot. He, of course, is on free kicks. We know how he can get those in the back of the net, like the Croatia game in the World Cup. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because with Reece James, it is that competition that Trippier will kind of relish, but can he get better than him? I don't know. We've also got another right-back, just to kind of confuse it even more, Kyle Walker. He won the Carabao Cup, he won the Champions League, or nearly did, I should say. He won the Premier League, but he's got a lot of, quality in him. He's been solid this season. He's just been very, flexible in that right back spot, but he's kind of matured in his game. And yes, you could say when you've seen Kyle Walker in an England shirt, he's made a lot of mistakes. I don't want to see this England team passing out from the back, because it will lead to nightmare. It will lead to very painful goals being conceded. But Walker still does offer a lot, and he's been one of the best fullbacks, I think, in the last couple of years. Jude Bellingham is next. Dortmund, what an absolutely fantastic box-to-box midfielder. He's got so much potential, and it felt like the right time to include him. He's had a great season with Dortmund after his transfer from Birmingham. And yeah, the sky's the limit for this kid. He looks really, really good. Phil Foden, we mentioned he has matured so much this season, and he's going to be a big player. I think he could have a lot of important moments for England this season. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him involved in a decent amount of games. So yeah, let's see what happens with that. Jack Grealish, of course, played in that game versus Austria. He played pretty well, driving England forward in that kind of number 10 role, but he can also play on that left-hand side as well. So he's quite versatile, Jack Grealish, and he has had a really good season for Aston Villa, unlucky with injuries, but when he has played, he's been very good. Jordan Henderson, Liverpool. Now, we didn't expect him actually to come back, but he seems like he's going to be all right. He's in the squad. He's had a lot of injury problems, but he is a very good player for England in the fact that he brings them forward, he connects the play, and he's a very good leader on the day. Mason Mount is going to be a big player for us, I think, in this tournament for England. He's been amazing with Chelsea this season. Calvin Phillips, bit of a surprise one, in my opinion, but fair enough. He has been putting in some good performances for Leeds United. And we always say, when you look at Leeds without Calvin Phillips, they are far, far worse. Declan Rice thought about a move, but didn't go for it. Fair enough. He kept loyal to West Ham. You'd imagine he'd move in the summer, though, to be fair, because he's got so much attraction from big clubs. But he is a key ingredient in that midfield and could definitely play a big role alongside Henderson. And then Saka, a lot of people have been questioning that one. He's a wonder kid, of course, lacks that experience. Maybe hasn't matured as much as people like Phil Foden. But yeah, fair enough. He did prove us wrong. Scored against Austria. His first goal at an international level for, the first team. So he could come in handy off the bench, but I'm just not sure he's kind of, despite he's had a decent season, I just don't feel like he's kind of got that elite level England player. But maybe he proves us wrong. Who knows? Then finally, a very exciting addition to a team that we didn't have in the last competition, and that is Jadon Sancho. He's been amazing recently for Dortmund, and he's going to be so dangerous on that wing. So you've got to imagine Sancho is going to be a key component in our front three that we play. And then forwards, we've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, of course, had a great season with Everton, even if it did kind of trail off at the end of it. Harry Kane, Golden Boot winner, what a player. He's going to be, the number one player on the starting, lineup sheet every week. Rashford, he's been amazing this season in, club football, on the pitch, and of course off the pitch. The work he's done for the charities, the work he's done for feeding the people that haven't got free school meals. It is amazing. It really is. So Marcus Rashford, what an absolute icon, and what a great role model for all aspiring footballers. Let's hope he can, line that up with a very good European Championships. And finally, Raheem Sterling, who's faced a lot of criticism. Number one criticism for the colour of his skin, which is disgusting. And it's the same thing with Marcus Rashford. The fact that he's getting these tweets and these messages after the Europa League final. I don't care how bad of a performance a player can put in. You do not turn to that. You do not do that at all. These people are human beings. They should not be treated in this way. And Raheem Sterling has faced a lot of racist abuse in the past. And that was, the case again after the Champions League final. So it's not good enough. Sterling, though, has been a great advocate for that, and he's kind of battled against it. You've just got to give him so much admiration, and he's been amazing in the last few seasons for this Man City side. But on an international level, he's going to hope he can get back into the groove. He's been on a massive goal-scoring barren run, really. So he needs to kind of get that drought and kind of cancel it out. But he's still going to be an important player for England. He scores big goals in the big moments. Right, let's move on to Finland. We've got Herodecki in goal. We've got Anis Jakola and Jesse Uronen from Brescia. Paulus Arunjuri, Robert Ianov, Thomas Lahm, Daniel O'Shaughnessy, Jukka Raitala, Junior Tovio, Jerry Uronen, Leo Vasanen and Sauli Vasanen. They're very, very similar names there. It looks like Leo and Sauli seem to be at least in some way related, so fair play. Midfield, you got Nikolai Alho, Friedrich Jensen from Augsburg, Glenn Kamara, decent player from Rangers to be fair, Johnny Kalko, Esbjerg, Robin Lodd, Minnesota United, Rasmus Schuler, Pyri Sori, Tim Sparv, Robert Taylor, and Onni Valakari. And then up front, Marcus Forst from Brentford, good signing for Brentford over the last few seasons. Lassi Lapalainen from Montreal, and Joel Pojanpalo, and of course, Timu Pukki. He will be their star man, and he will be leading from the front, takes penalties. He's going to get more goals, you'd imagine, but it's a tough group for Finland, and they're underdogs, they are. France have got a very nice looking 26-man squad. You've got Lloris, you've got Mike Maignan, and Steve Mendanda. I thought maybe that, who is it? Is it Buenot Capril or something like that? Or, I think it might be Buenot or Patti or something. One of their goalkeepers that usually plays. But it's Mike Maignan, fair enough, from Milan. Then defence, we've got Luca Digne off the back of a pretty good season in the Prem with Everton, despite Everton not ending it well and obviously sacking, or I should say, parting ways with Ancelotti after he saw that Real Madrid offer and the job, vacancy open. He thought, nah, I'm not turning that one down. So fair enough. It's a bit of a gutting blow for Everton because he attracted great qualities of players, but they're going to have to pick in someone, and they've got Nuno Espirito Santo, they've got Eddie Howe, they've got lots of options. So fair enough, Everton. Leo Dubois, Lucas Hernandez is going to obviously battle with Digne for that left back spot. Presnel Kimpembe, very good centre half for Paris Saint-Germain. Jules Koundé from Sevilla. Clement Lenglet as well from Barcelona. Benjamin Pavard, of course, scored that absolute screamer in the World Cup against Argentina. That was amazing. Can he do it again? Well, we've not seen many goals from him, but you never know. Rafael Varane, Real Madrid, of course, and Kurt Zouma. Kingsley Coman, N'Golo Kante, Thomas Lemar from Atletico Madrid, Paul Pogba, Adrian Rabiot, and Musa Sissoko, as well as Corentin Tolisso. Then forwards, it's absolutely unbelievable for France. They've got so many options. Wissam Ben Yedder, very good forward from Monaco. Karim Benzema is back in the France team. I mean, that's a great option for them. Ousmane Dembele, don't forget him. Olivier Giroud is an absolute weapon off the bench, and he scored a lot of goals for France in his national time, and of course did have a big feature to play. Scored some important goals in the Euro 2016, the first goal actually of the last tournament. So let's see if he can kick things off on the right foot again. The Chelsea forward, Antoine Griezmann, who's not been brilliant for Barcelona this season, but he'll turn to his France team to try and get back some form. He might be on penalties. He'll try and whip out the hotline bling celebration, or maybe he'll do something different. Kylian Mbappe, and finally a very good forward from Mönchengladbach, Marcus Thuram. Right, now we've got Germany, and Germany's team is looking like this: Neuer, Bird Leno, and Kevin Trapp, decent goalkeepers. Emre Can is playing in defence, which is interesting, but he has moved to that recently. Matthias Ginter, Robin Gosens, Christian Gunter, Marcel Halstenberg, Mats Hummels from Dortmund, of course, Lucas Klosterman, Robin Koch from Leeds, Antonio Rudiger, I should say, and Niklas Süle from Bayern Munich. Serge Gnabry, also Bayern Munich, Leon Goretzka. There's a lot of Bayern Munich players to be here, fair here, but, you know, that's the way it is. Leon Goretzka, Ilkay Gundogan, great season with Man City. He'll play a big role, of course. Jonas Hoffmann, Joshua Kimmich, who can play in defence, but he's also, you know, attacking in his midfield role. Toni Kroos, still an absolute legend of the game. Probably won't have too many seasons left, the Real Madrid man, but still a very important player for Germany. Jamal Musiala, we called it, didn't we? We said he'd be maybe a contender for Young Player of the Season if he gets some games, if he gets some goals. We wondered if he'd be included in the squad, but he is. What a great season for Bayern Munich, and Jamal Musiala is in the squad. Florian Neuhaus is also a very good signing that Gladbach brought in, and also Leroy Sané, of course, had a good season with Bayern after leaving Manchester City. Kai Havertz, the scorer in the Champions League final, which we didn't predict correctly. We thought City would get the dub, but Chelsea just got absolutely brilliant job on them. But a comeback, really. It was just payback for that final in the last Champions League season. And Tuchel has done it again. It's unbelievable stuff. So, yeah, they just did a job on them, really. Thomas Müller, I mean, yeah, he's just a legend of Germany. Kevin Volland and Timo Werner, who has had goal-scoring problems, but he's still a good forward. There's no denying that. And, of course, he's going to be hungry for goals for his national team. Adam Bogdan is the first man from Hungary. Not the Adam Bogdan I think you'll probably be thinking of, the former Liverpool man. Dennis Debus from Ferencváros also. And Peter Gulaxi from Leipzig. You'd imagine he'd start. Bendeges Bola from Ferencváros. Andre Botka. Attila Fiola. Akos Keksekes? I think so, from Lugano. Adam Lang. Jegro Lovren 6, Loic Nigo from Ferencváros, decent player, Willie Orban, and Attili Salai. So Attili Salai, not Adam Salai. Adam Salai is in their forward line. They've got Tamas Cesari in midfield, Daniel Gadzag, Laszlo Kleinheisler, I think, Adam Nagy from Bristol City as well, Andras Schaffer, David Seeger, Kevin Varga, and Roland Varga. Then up front, Janus Hahn, Philip Hollander from Partizan, Nemanja Nikolovic from Ferencváros, and Roland Salai, as well as Salabox Shon from FC Dallas. Now, Italy, they're a team that a lot of people are talking about, possibly one of the favourites. Gianni Donnarumma from AC Milan, what a goalkeeper he is. Very much the future of Italy, and, you know, he's been a wonder kid for ages, and he's just been brilliant. Alex Mere at Napoli, and of course Salvatore Sirigu, Torino man. Francesco Acerbi, Alessandro Bastoni, Leandro Bonucci, Giorgio Chiellini. Great to see Bonucci and Chiellini still going strong. The Juventus defenders. Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Emerson in the squad, interesting. Alessandro Florenzi and Leandro Spinazzola from Roma, and of course Rafael Toloi. Then we've got Nicolo Barella. He's had a breakout season with Inter Milan, and he does score a few goals, to be fair, for Italy. Federico Bernardeschi from Juventus. Federico Chiesa from also Juventus. Brian Cristante. Jorginho, which I'm a bit shocked by, because I heard news that he wasn't in the squad, and now he is. So, yeah, anyway, he's of course a threat from penalties. Manuel Locatelli, Sassuolo, Lorenzo Pellegrini, Stefanzo Sensi from Inter Milan, and of course Marco Verratti. But up front, they've got some absolutely class players, some of which won't get the game time. But if you think of people like Andrea Belotti, he's been scoring goals every single season consistently for Torino, and how he's still not got a move is beyond me, but very good forward. Domenico Berardi, he, my friends, is my player to watch for these Euros, my underdog player, because not a lot gets said about Domenico Berardi, but he is quality, I'm telling you. The Sassuolo player. Ciro Immobile as well from Lazio, very good forward. Lorenzo Insigne, what a player from Napoli. And finally, Giacomo Raspadori. Now we talk Netherlands. The Dutch, what are they doing? Well, we mentioned how Sillerson is out of the team, so that means in comes Marco Bizot from AZ. I assume that's AZ Alkmaar. Tim Krul, of course, and Martin Stecklenburg. Nathan Ake in defence, Daley Blint, Matthijs de Ligt. And due to the absence of Virgil van Dijk, there will be Stefan de Vrij from Inter Milan filling in, Denzel Dumfries, and also you think about defenders and players for the team of Netherlands. You could see Owen Wijndal as well from AZ fill in there. We've got Denzel Dumfries, as we mentioned, Patrick Van Aanholt. Interesting to see how he gets on, the Palace player, and Joel Veltman off the back of a decent first season for Brighton. Frankie de Jong, Martin de Roon, Ryan Gravenberch, a very good Ajax player, very up-and-coming, interesting talent. Davy Klaassen, Toon Koopmeiners, Quincy Promes from Spartak Moskva, Jurien Timber from Ajax, Donny van de Beek from Manchester United, who's pretty much been on the sidelines all season, and Jorginho Wijnaldum for Liverpool. Up front, we've got Steven Berghuis, ex-Watford man. What a baller. He's class, honestly. When he cuts inside, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. Luke de Jong from Sevilla as well. He's scored some big goals in his time for Sevilla. Can he do the same for Netherlands? Well, you'd imagine the next man on this list will start for the Netherlands, so could make it difficult. Memphis Depay from Lyon. Cody Gakpo, Doniel Marlon, and of course, Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg. All right, we're getting through this, people, and bear with me. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a bumper one. So if you didn't already know this, then sit back, relax, summer vibes. The Euros are coming. Just absorb this information. It's a bumper video. North Macedonia is next. And I got to be honest, any North Macedonia fans out there, I got to give it to you because you've done well to qualify. It's going to be a big, big ask. And I've only heard of one player in your team, and that is the defender, Ezcan Alioski. So, good luck. I'm just going to say that. We got Stol Dimitrievski. I think he's going to be the man in between the sticks. Ritsko Yankov and Damjan Siskovski. And apologies if I get any of these pronunciations wrong. This could be quite difficult. We mentioned Alioski. We got Ezgon Beshtutali, or Talai. Visar Musilu from Ferovar. Kure Ristevski from Ojpest. Stefan Ristovski, Dinamo Zagreb. Darko Velkovski. And also Joko Zachkov. Then it's Arjan Ademi, Enis Bardi, Darko Cherlinov, Elifaf Elmas from Napoli, Ferhan Hassani, Timihor Kostadinov, Boban Nikolov, and then Milan Ristovski from Spartak Trnava, and finally Stefan Spirovski from Ayek Larnaca. Up front, we've got Daniel Avramovsky, Goran Pandev, he's attracted a lot of attention, the Genoa forward, Marjan Rudetsky, Vlatko Stojanovski, very good player as well, Alexander Trajakovsky, a lot of people talking about him, Trajovsky, Mallorca man, Ivan Trikovsky, and finally Kirstej Velkovsky. So let's move on to Poland. And Poland will be an interesting one, I think, because without Lewandowski, they probably will struggle for goals, but they still have a very good team, in other areas. So it'll be interesting to see how they accommodate Lewandowski and can they utilise his, scoring ability. We shall see. Lukas Fabianski in goal, great shot stopper. Lukas Skoropski from Bologna, and of course Wojciech Szczesny, very experienced man. Jan Bednarek, Southampton man. Bartosz Berezinski, Kamil Glick, Michael Helik from Barnsley. He's had a great season from their point of view for the Dykes, but it's unfortunate really that they didn't get promoted. They lost out to Swansea. Tomasz Kedzoria, Kamil Piatkowski, I think. It's like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. No, Timotheus Pukas from Lech Poznan. And then finally, we've got Maciej Rybus. In midfield for Poland, we've got Paweł Dawidowskis, Przemysław Frankowski, Kamil Jozwiak from Derby. I rate him. Matthias Klich just had a great season with Leeds. Kasper Kozlowski, Grzegorz Krychowiak from Lokomotiv Moskva, Karol Linetti, Torino, Jakub Moder, a new appearance and a new kind of face in the Premier League for Brighton this season. He's been decent. And also, we've got from Norwich, Przemysław Placheta and Piotr Zielinski. Up front, we've got David Kalnacki for Tuna Dusseldorf, Robert Lewandowski, the star man really, Arkadiusz Milik from Marseille, Karol Swiderski from PAOK, and finally Jakub Swiderskok. Right, Portugal is next. This is the team that I'll be reacting to in a future video, but we're just going to quickly brush over it. I nearly knocked over my water there. Deary me, that would have been a bit of a nightmare. Anthony Lopez, Rui Patricio, and Rui Silva, solid goalkeepers. Joao Cancelo, Ruben Diaz, Jose Font, Rafael Guerreiro, Nuno Mendes, Pepe, still going strong, and Nelson Semedo. William Carvalho, Danilo Pereira, he's been really good for PSG. Bruno Fernandes, what more can you say? Absolute baller. Gonzalo Guedes got the winner for us in the Nations League against Netherlands. Let's hope we can get some more silverware. Joao Moutinho, Ruben Neves, Sergio Oliveira, Joao Palhinha. I'm very happy for him, of course. Although it is a Sporting player who, you know, kind of rivals with Benfica, I'm happy for him because he scored on that game up at Luxembourg or against Montenegro, one of those teams in the World Cup qualifying, and it was a great moment for him. And yeah, he's, you know, up and coming, decent player. We've also got in midfield Pote, Sporting SP, of course, that is. So yeah, that's an interesting one, really. I think with Pote, he's also known, by the way, as Pedro Goncalves. Very decent attacking midfielder, 22 years old, lot of youth, lot of ability. Let's see how he gets on. Renato Sanchez, absolute baller, of course. He's going to be really good in the midfield alongside someone like Fernandes or Ruben Neves. And hopefully kind of brings back those really aggressive and assertive performances that we know he can do. Bernardo Silva, what more to say? Absolute player. Joao Felix, Diogo Jota, ended the season so well, unlucky with injury, but he's back now. Cristiano Ronaldo, he needs one goal to be the all-time outright top goal scorer in these European Championships of any player. So it's unbelievable. He's just the GOAT at this point. Andre Silva from Frankfurt, and of course Rafa Silva from Benfica. Moving on to Russia, we have in goal Yuri Dyupin, Matvei Safonov, and Anton Shunin. Then we have Igor Diviv, Georgi Dzika, Mario Fernandez, bit of a threat from set pieces, Vyacheslav Karaviev, I think so, Fedor Kudryashov, and Andrei Semenov. Then in midfield, some decent players to be fair here for the Russians. Dmitry Baranov, Denis Cheryshev, he had a great role in the World Cup, of course. Daniil Fomin, Alexander Golovin, very good player as well from Monaco. Daler Kuziev, Andrei Mostovoy, Maxim Mukhin, Magomed Ozdoev, Rifat Zemalatinov, I think I've pronounced that right, Yuri Zirkov, and Roman Zobnin. This really is a tongue twister, but it's good. It's good to know these players. You know, we've got to appreciate who they are and the fact they've been selected. Artem Zuba, Alexei Ionov, Denis Marakov, Alexei Miranchuk, and Alexander Sobolev, and Anton Zabotlny. Now Scotland, we have Scotland. Well, don't think we saw that one coming, but fair enough. They could defy the odds. Let's find out. We've got Craig Gordon, Hearts player, David Marshall, Derby goalkeeper, and John McLaughlin from Rangers. And I actually remember when I did my Sunderland career mode on my old channel, Absolute Scenes, John McLaughlin, he did bits for us in our career mode. So that's a nice reminiscent moment there. Liam Cooper, of course, of Leeds, Declan Gallagher, Grant Hanley, Norwich man, Jack Hendry, Scott McKenna, Nottingham Forest, Stephen O'Donnell, Nathan Patterson, Andy Robertson is going to be a big player for them, Greg Taylor, and of course, another good left back, Kieran Tierney. Stuart Armstrong, Ryan Christie, John Fleck for Sheffield United, James Forrest, absolutely fantastic player, gets very underrated, under the radar. I think Celtic players and Rangers players do go under the radar because, you know, we've expected now that in the Scottish Premiership there is kind of a quite simplistic title race. Fair enough, it turned on its head this year, but generally there's not enough advertisement and publication of these players in these divisions. So yeah, James Forrest, fantastic player. Ryan Fraser, of course, for Newcastle. Billy Gilmore, young wonder kid from Chelsea. That's a nice inclusion to see him get some more minutes, hopefully, for them. John McGinn of Aston Villa. Callum McGregor, Scott McTominay, and finally, David Turnbull. Up front, they haven't got too many options, to be fair. So if one of them doesn't, do well or gets injured, then it could be a problem. But they've got Che Adams, who's been in fantastic form this season. Lyndon Dykes for QPR, and Kevin Nisbet from Hibernian. Slovakia are up next. Martin Dubravka of Newcastle, but will he start? Probably not. Instead, it will probably be Marek Rodak from Fulham. And then we've also got Dusan Kusiak. Then we've got David Hanko, Thomas Hubakan, Martin Koslinik, Peter Pekarik, it's like Pecorino, Lubnor Satka, Milian Skriniar, very good player from Inter Milan, very much rate him, Martin Valgient, and Denis Vavro. In midfield for Slovakia, you've got Slaslo Benez, Andre Duda, featured at the Euro 2016 and of course scored a couple of goals, I think. Jan Gregus, Marek Hamsik, he's their star man really, playing for IFK Göteborg. Lucas Haraslin, Jakub Huramoda, Patrick Hurovsovsky, Juraj Kuka, Stanislav Lobotka, Tomas Suslov, and Vladimir Weiss from Slovan Bratislava. But we then got Robert Brozanek, Michael Duris, Robert Mack, and Ivan Schranz up front for the Slovakians. In terms of Spain, this is the one exception. They have a 24-man squad because of injuries, so you've got to feel bad for them. But it's interesting because a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, Kepa will be in the squad. Nope. It's taken by Robert Sanchez. And actually, I've heard a lot of people saying they think that Unai Simon could start because people have said he's won the number one role. There was a bit of a bust-up with De Gea, and now Robert Sanchez had a great season with Brighton, so no Kepa. Unlucky people that had Kepa in their Euro fantasy team. But anyway, David De Gea, he's had a bit of an on-off season at Man United once again. Unai Simon, and of course, Robert Sanchez. We've then got Jose Gaya, left back, who's going to be, competing with Jordi Alba. But Jordi Alba's been amazing from Barcelona. Pau Torres, Villarreal. Aymeric Laporte, Manchester City. Eric Garcia, Diego Llorente from Leeds. And also Cesar Azpilicueta. Very good midfield, we're about to say now. Thiago Alcantara, still going to be, getting much, much better in his Liverpool career. Sergio Busquets, absolute legend of his day, really. Koke, Atletico Madrid. Marcus Llorente, Dani Olmo, Leipzig. Rodri. These are all amazing players. You just think, their strength in depth, their ability is unbelievable. So, yeah, Dani Olmo from Leipzig is one to watch, I think. Rodri from Manchester City. You've also got Fabian Ruiz. He's actually a midfield general in that respect for Napoli. He combines epic energy with skill and technique. His ability to turn away from a defender in tight spaces, he's a great asset for Spain, and their passing out from the back style will really suit that. So I think he's got to be in the team, Fabian Ruiz. And don't forget about the likes of Pedri, Mikel Merino and Sergio Canales, but not all of them have been actually included. So it's interesting. And moving on for the midfield, we've got Pablo Sarabia, Ferran Torres, who just had a really good season with Man City, and Adama Traore. Let's see if he gets involved. The winger that's got so much pace, it's unbelievable. Pedri is in the squad, and another man who's in the squad is Gerard Moreno, the man, of course, that was, interestingly involved in the final with Man United, scored the goal, but then, of course, it went to penalties. And I'm a bit surprised, to be honest, to not see the wonder kid that is Ansu Fati in this team. I don't think they've named him there. So That's a shame, because I was looking forward to seeing him, but it is what it is. That is the way it goes. And in terms of those forward lines, got Alvaro Morata as well. Very good player. I mean, 19 goals could be really impressive to kind of take into this. Juventus striker, he's so great at holding up the ball. And yeah, he's the favourite really to lead the line. You've also got Moreno, as we mentioned, and Mikel Oyarzabal, very good player from Real Sociedad. And I think he could do something very special in this tournament because, all right, 4 goals is up and down, but the forward, he can play anywhere along the front line, and he can actually play as a false 9. So I think he should really make the cut and get some game time. And also we've got Pedri from Barcelona. So an interesting comment that Luis Enrique made about the fact it is a 24-man squad instead of 26. He basically said, we don't want to take any more because we want everyone to have a chance of playing. And we only know that around 18 or 19 will actually play. So in a way, he's contradicted himself in the same sentence there by saying the 24 will play because they won't. But the point is, he's trying to get everyone rotating. And that is a bit of a risk, really, for people that have Spain players in fantasy because it's a bit like Man City. You just don't know who's going to play. But fair enough. That's his reasoning behind it. It's a bit rebellious, though, isn't it? Because it's not exactly what UEFA wanted. But that is the way it goes. Sweden up next. We've got some interesting players. Not, unfortunately, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He was ruled out unfairly and, well, not unfairly, but sadly and tragically with an injury. It would have been so nice. After he, announced his retirement from international football, you thought, oh, that's a great legend gone. But now he comes back and then he's injured. Oh, dearie me. We'll see what, happens with Sweden. I think they've still got enough threat, but it is a missing piece that they would have loved. Karlan Johan Johansson is their first goalie. Christopher Nordfeldt and also Robin Olsen from Everton. Ludwig Augustinsson, Pierre Bengston, Marcus Danielsson, Andreas Granqvist. Interesting. I thought he wouldn't be involved because I thought he'd be too old, but fair enough. Philip Helander, Pontus Jansson from Brentford, Emil Kraft, Victor Lindelof, and Michael Lustig. In midfield, we got Jens Lees Kajuste, Victor Claesson, Abdin Ekdal, Emil Forsberg, Dejan Kulusevski, Sebastian Larsson, of course, ex-Sunderland man, Christopher Olsen, Robin Quaison, what a player, Ken Sema, you love to see it, Matthias Svanberg, and Gustav Svensson. Up front for Sweden, it's going to be Marcus Berg, Alexander Isak, and Jordan Larsson. Finally, the last 4 teams. Sweden is done. Now it's Switzerland. Jovon Mvongo, Jonas Omlin and Jan Sommer are the man in between the sticks for the Swiss. In defence, we've got Michael Akanji, or Manuel Akanji, I should say, from Dortmund. Loris Benito, Erai Komert, Nico Elvedi from Mönchengladbach, Jordan Lutomba, Kevin Mbabu, Wolfsburg, Bekir Omer Rajic, Ricardo Rodriguez, bit of a threat to be fair in terms of shots, and of course Fabian Schär, great threat from set pieces, and Sylvan Vidma, and Christian Fasnach from Young Boys FC is in midfield. Edmilson Fernandez, the West Ham reject, didn't do too well. Mainz player, of course, now. Remo Freuler, Xherdan Shaqiri, who hasn't got a lot of minutes with Liverpool, but he still does it on a big stage. Jibril So from Frankfurt. Ruben Vargas, Granit Xhaka, who just loves to hit one from 30 yards. Who knows? He could get a few of them in. Dennis Zakaria and Steven Zuber. And then up front, they've got a few options. They've got Admir Mehmedi, Breel Mbolo, absolute player. Mbolo is. He's, been picked up by a few clubs and noticed by a few clubs in his, playing days as a young player. He was fantastic. And yeah, he's still a very good player for Gladbach. Mario Gavranovic. And finally, Haris Severovic from Benfica. Turkey up next. And, all right, Turkey are doing pretty well to be in this Euros. They haven't qualified the last few. They were in Euro 2016. But, yeah, it's been a bit up and down for Turkey. So, we'll see. But I personally feel, this is just my opinion. So, if you want to disagree with me in the comments, feel free. But I just don't rate Turkey. I mean, they've got a decent squad, but is it enough to get through, some of the games? I just don't rate them. I think Kalanoglu, yeah, all right, he's good. And you've got Cenk Tosun, you've got Soyuncu, maybe Kabak, but it's a pretty depleted squad in my opinion. So I just think that they'll end up bottom of the group. Oops, spoilers. But yeah, I just don't feel like they're going to go far, but they could prove me wrong. Altay Bayindir from Fenerbahce is the first man in between the sticks. Ugarsan Kakir and also Mert Gunok from Istanbul Basaksehir. In defence, we've got Kain Ayan, Zeki Kelik, Merir Demiral from Juventus, Ozan Kabak, Umat Miraz, Mert Mulder, Kaglar Soyuncu for the Foxes, and Ridvan Yilmaz. So there's actually 2 Yilmazes, which is a bit confusing, but luckily they play for different teams, Besiktas and Lille. Talyan Antalali from Galatasaray, I think I've pronounced that right. Hakan Çalhanoğlu is going to be their big player from AC Milan. He's on free kicks. He's got a very good, shot on him. Halil Dervizoglu from Brentford. We've got Ervan Kavesi, I think. Orkan Koku from Feyenoord. Abdu Kalkodir Omer from Trabzonspor. Dorakun Tokoz. Ozan Tufan, who I think did play in the last Euros. And of course, from West Brom, Tokusu, or Yokuslu, I should say. Up front, you've got Kerem Aktürkoğlu, Kenan Karaman, Enes Unal, Cengiz Ünder, Yusuf Yaziki, and Burak Yilmaz. And then we've got Ukraine. You've got Giorgio Bushan, Andrea Piatov, Anatoly Trubin, Alessandra Karavayev. We've got Serhiy Kristyov, Myolokona, Matvienko, Vitalia Michaelenko, Denis Popov from Dynamo Kiev, Eduard Sobol, Alessandra Timichik, Ilya Zabarani, and Alexander Zinchenko from Man City. In midfield, Roman Bezus, Yevhen Makarenko, Ruslan Malinovsky from Atalanta, Marlos from Shakhtar, very good, Mykola Shaparenko, Taras Stepanenko, Herori Sudakov, Sariha Sidorchuk, and finally, in midfield, Viktor Siganovkov. Hang on, is that no... Oh, yeah. I was going to say no Yarmolenko, but no, he's in a forward line. Artem Bezadin, Artem Dovbyk, Andriy Yarmolenko, Roman Yaremchuk from Gent, and finally, Alexandra Zubkov. And finally, we've got Wales. We've got Adam Davies from Stoke, Wayne Hennessy, and Danny Ward. Now, I actually feel like maybe Davies could be in goal. It probably will be Danny Ward. Oh, actually, no, it'll probably be Hennessy. I don't even know. In defence, Ethan Mpaidu from Chelsea. I mean, he's been around the kind of teams. He played for Sheffield United. Now he's back to Chelsea, I think. Ben Cabango from Swansea had a decent season. Ben Davies, Tottenham. Chris Gunter, Charlton. Tom Lockyer. We won't talk about that. Luton Town player. Chris Meffin from Bournemouth. Reece Norrington Davis, Sheffield United. I think he also used to play for Stoke, Norrington Davis. But Connor Roberts, Joe Rodon, and Nico Williams. He's going to be interesting to see if Nico Williams plays. You'd imagine he would. Joe Allen, David Brooks, Ruben Colwill, Daniel James, Dillian Levitt, Joe Morrell, Aaron Ramsey, Matthew Smith, Johnny Williams, and Harry Wilson. And finally, we've got Gareth Bale, Kiefer Moore, and from Leeds, it's Tyler Roberts. Oh, we're done, people. That's good. No, I like it, all right? It's long, but it's good. It's good to get these teams understood, really locked in the brain, and understood, yeah. So, now that we've done that, what we're going to do is some predictions. That is going to be fun. I cannot wait. Let's get amongst it. So, what are we going to do first? I mean, there's a lot to do, but let's kick off with every single scoreline of these Euros. And then we could do maybe goal scorers after. To be honest, I haven't actually got all the goal scorers nailed down because it takes a long time to kind of work it out. So it's not ideal stuff, but we'll go with it, people, right? So let's start off with Turkey v Italy. I'm saying Turkey 1, Italy 2. So therefore, I'm saying the first goal of the Euros will be scored by Italy, and that will be Lorenzo Insigne. But Turkey equalised through Demiral, and then the second goal for Italy comes from Florenzi. So it ends 2-1. Then we've got Wales-Switzerland. I'm saying 1-0 away. Well, I say away. They're not away. They're just in these random countries. But 1-0 to Switzerland versus Wales. I think that this will be a game that is going to be tight and nervy. But it will be 1-0 to the Switzerland. And the goal for them will come from Fabian Schär from a header. Right, let's move on to Finland versus Denmark. I'm going for a Finland 2-1 win. Bit of a surprise there, but I feel like Denmark will just fall at the first hurdle. They're certainly a good squad and they will do well this tournament, but I think Finland are going to start off well. Pukki's going to be on the goal scoring sheet, so he's going to get the first one. And then I think that Denmark will once again score a goal, and it's going to be through Yusuf Poulsen. But then Finland get back another goal. Now, you ask very politely, and I'm sure you do, who is that second Finland goal going to come from? Well, my friend, I think that it's going to come from a defender. Absolute scenes, unexpected stuff. But that man, I think, will be none other than Jere Uronen from Genk. And if he doesn't play, then it'll be Thomas Lamb from Zwolle. Okay, next up, we've got the game between Belgium and Russia. I'm going for a 3-1 Belgium win. I think surely Belgium are going to be fairly comfortable. Despite Russia's decent attackers, I think Belgium are too good. Now, I think goal scorers here in this 3-1 victory will be, first of all, Eden Hazard. Then the goal will come for Belgium from defender, Jan Vertonghen. And then Russia get back a goal through Ionov. But then the third goal for Belgium is going to be put away very nicely indeed by Yannick Carrasco. We've then got England versus Croatia. The big one, people. I mean, it's big for England. Obviously, it feels like football's already come home because the games in the semi-final and the final, and I think one of the games in London, it feels like it's here, it's ready for us to experience, and it's going to be interesting. Can England be the Euro 2020 winners? Can they bring it home? Well, we'll talk about that later on when we go through my winner. But it will be interesting to see. At Wembley, they're going to feel at home. They want to bring it home for Queen Elizabeth. They want to bring it home for, despite his criticisms, he'll be happy, Boris Johnson, if he can wave the flag and get the trophy. But no, realistically, Harry Kane's going to be a big part of that. And I think he's going to score in this first game of the Euros for the Three Lions. But I'm going to go for England 2, Croatia 0. And goals here from Harry Kane and Jadon Sancho. All right, what is the next game up on the list? It is the game between North Macedonia and Austria. And I'm going for a 1-0 Austria win. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm saying North Macedonia 1-0 win. I know what's going to happen now. It'll be an Austria win. But no, I'm saying North Macedonia because I just feel this Austria team will go into it a little bit too big for their boots. They'll see that I've, selected them as a team to watch. They'll think, easy stroll versus North Macedonia. Nope, not this first game. And North Macedonia will get the goal from Alioski converting from a penalty spot. So, therefore, Austria will be hit hard in the face and then they'll have to bounce back and then actually go on to do really well. So, yeah, that's how I'm saying for the first Austria game. Then we've got Netherlands-Ukraine. I'm going for a 3-0 Netherlands win. And this time, I think goal scorers will be, first of all, Luc de Jong. Then it will be Steven Berghuis. And the third goal for Netherlands, Matthijs de Ligt. All right, now we've got the matchup between Scotland and Czech Republic. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I think this will be nervy once again. The goals here, first of all, for Czech Republic, it will be none other than an unlikely scorer, but I think it could happen. It's Kearney, Cerny, assisted very well by the very good player that is none other than, who is it? It's the right back. You know it. It's got to be, isn't it? In the defence, what's his name? It's not Thomas Souček. Instead, it is a mind blank. It's a mind blank. Oh dear. This is a nightmare, people. Kufal, Vladimir Kufal. Goodness me. The goal for Scotland, though, I think will come from Christie. Cyrus Christie. Now, if it doesn't come from him, I'm not sure if he was in the squad, to be fair. If it doesn't it will come instead from Scott McTominay, but only a 1-1 draw in the opening game for the Scots. Then we've got Poland v Slovakia. I'm saying 2-1 Poland. I think that surely Poland will have enough. Slovakia are going to be a decent shout this Euros, but I think Poland, they'll get some goals in this one from Lewandowski. It's got to be done. So Poland 2, Slovakia 1. The first one, Lewandowski. Then an equaliser comes from Weiss, Weiss. And then the winner for Poland, actually not going to be another from Lewandowski. Let's freshen it up a little bit. The second for Poland is going to be Placheta. All right, let's move on to Spain against Sweden. And for this one, we're going with another shock prediction. Spain 2, Sweden 2. Now, I actually did originally think that Spain were going to whip Sweden in this first game, but actually, I don't think so, because Sweden are going to go for it. They're not going to, leave anything untouched. They're going to have their heart on their sleeve, go all out, and I think that Spain will just take their, foot off the pedal, take it a little bit for granted. So, in terms of goal scorers in this game, I think the first will come from Morata for Spain. But then Sweden equalised through Olsen, and that is K. Olsen. I'm not sure which part of the pitch he plays in, and I'm not sure why the screen's frozen again, but we go with it. It is what it is. So that makes it 1-1 from K. Olsen. Then the goal, again for Spain, I think will come not from Jordi Alba, because it's quite hard for defenders to score, but instead, I think it will be Ferran Torres. And then the goal for Sweden, to get a very impressive draw in this game, I think will come not from Cancelo. Imagine the scenes, though. It would be amazing. No, instead, I think the goal for Sweden will come from, in defence, Victor Lindelof. Right, now it's Hungary v Portugal. Vamos, Portugal! You can't see it now, but I'm kissing the Portugal badge. It's a big game. We got this group of death that we've been served up. We're trying to defend our crown and defend our European Championship that was won with grit and determination in the last Euro tournament. And I'll admit, we rode our luck a few times. We won a few games where we might not have. We've drawn in the group stages. We've come as the best third team. But we just showed that togetherness. And I'd actually say our Euro team now is even better than it was. So this is big. We need to get this win against Hungary, because the France and Germany games will be tough. There's no doubting that. So I'm going for Portugal. Hungary 1, Portugal 3. And Hungary to score the first goal, actually, which will be a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. And that goal will come from the forward, that is Salai. And then the first goal for Portugal, I'm saying, will be Diogo Jota. And then the second goal for Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. And the third goal for Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo. So a brace on the opening day for CR7, the GOAT. All right, now it's a game between France and Germany. Now, in the Premier League, you've seen a lot of top 6 clashes, or traditional top 6. That's kind of gone out the window this season. But you've seen those kind of teams that are big players and high-profile clubs, and in this case, nations, that overthink it in these kind of games. And France-Germany, all right, later on in the tournament might be really exciting. But right now, I just feel like both sides won't want to lose too much. So I'm saying 0-0 in this one. No goals between France and Germany. But, crucially, a penalty missed by Antoine Griezmann. You heard it here first, people. Now it's Finland against Russia. And I'm going for the scoreline of Finland 0, Russia 1. I think Russia will just nick one. And they'll get their goal through Denis Cheryshev. Now we've got the game between Turkey and Wales. I'm backing Wales to get the win here. I know that Turkey aren't that bad, but I just feel like Wales will have too much firepower for them. And this is realistically one of the best chances, Wales, of winning in the group. So I'm saying the goals on this 3-0 win for Wales will come from a free kick from Gareth Bale, another goal for Aaron Ramsey, and the third goal for Wales, Harry Wilson. We then got Italy against Switzerland. And in this one, I'm backing the Italians to start with their second game and get that win again. It will be the same scoreline, though, in my opinion. Italy 2, Switzerland 1. And Switzerland will huff and puff. They'll really go for it, and they'll do quite well. But it won't be enough. And I think the Switzerland team will score first, and that's through Xherdan Shaqiri. But then Italy fight back through their main man, that is Insigne. He gets the equaliser. And then the second goal for Italy, I think, will come from up front. It's not Immobile. It is instead the man I said you should watch out for, Domenico Berardi. to make it Italy 2, Switzerland 1. We've then got Ukraine versus North Macedonia. Oh dear, this could be a tough one for North Macedonia, but I did say they would beat Austria, and that will be an unlikely result. But I do feel Ukraine, after that really poor result against Netherlands, they'll kind of come back stronger, and they'll just find a few holes in this North Macedonia defence. 4-0, in my opinion, to Ukraine. And goal scorers here, I think there'll be 2 from Junior Morais and 2 from an unlikely source, but it's Alexander Zinchenko. All right, after that game between Ukraine and North Macedonia, we have Denmark versus Belgium. This is a great game. 2 great teams on show here, and they're going to be going for it hammer and tong, and no, lack of commitment probably, because you've got likes of Christian Eriksen up against the likes of, Kevin De Bruyne if he's fit, and Romelu Lukaku and Yuri Tielemans, and so many more. So it's going to be a great game, but I think Belgium will have enough to win. Denmark 0, Belgium 2. And in terms of goals here, I'm saying the first one, Eden Hazard. The second one, Dries Mertens. Right, now it's the next one between Austria and Netherlands. And I'm backing another shock result, but I feel like Netherlands will take their foot off the gas here. They'll kind of look at Austria and see, oh yeah, you lost to North Macedonia, you're awful. And actually they won't go for the game enough, and Austria will bring in a brilliant comeback to win 2-3 to Austria. So I think Netherlands will come back and haunt Austria, because they'll get the opening goals, 2 from Quincy Promes. But then Austria hit back with goals from Lazaro, then Arnautovic, and then the third goal for Austria, David Alaba. All right, now we're going to the game between Sweden and Slovakia, and I'm going for a Slovakia win. Oh, for goodness sake, I hope this screen comes back soon, because it's really annoying me. I'm going for a Slovakia win, which is a bit bold, because I think Sweden will do well, because they just got a point in my prediction against Spain. But I've just got a feeling that Slovakia will catch them on a bad day, and the only goal in this win for Slovakia will be their talisman. It's Marek Hamsik, the Mohawk, once again shown off, and it will be another absolute screamer from the midfielder. Now we've got Croatia up against Czech Republic, and in this one I'm going for a Croatia win. Croatia 2, Czech Republic 1. Goal scorers here, I think Czech Republic will score first through Tomas Souček, but Croatia will get their goals through Kovacic and Rebic. Alright, now it's the game between England and Scotland. We've got a home nations clash here. The 4 nations, of course. It will be a shame that, in previous Euros you've seen like Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland get in there. They couldn't do it this time though, and unfortunately for especially Republic of Ireland to lose out so close on penalties, it was a real blow. But it is interesting. We are back. Love to see it. It is interesting how will Scotland do. I just feel like they're going to really be up against it. So England will be stronger on the day, I think, and I think they will get, just like that Croatia game, a comfortable 2-0 win, with goals coming from, first of all, Raheem Sterling, who will face criticism, but he's going to, find a way to kind of get back at them and counter that. But then the second goal for England, I don't think he's going to play, so I'm not going to predict Harry Maguire to score. He might do. I could be wrong. Instead, another defender, Reece James. So 2-0 to the England. Now we've got Hungary versus France. I think this is going to be a very interesting game. Hungary will know that their group is just so tough, so they're going to go for it. They've got nothing to lose, really, and therefore they'll leave themselves exposed against France. They'll score some goals of their own, Hungary, but it's still going to be a bit of a decent win for France. So Hungary 2, France 4. Great game. The first one from Hungary coming from Szoboszlai, but then France equalised through Kylian Mbappe, and then the second goal is actually going to be Hungary, and it's once again Salai up front, but that will make it 2-1, and then Mbappe just decides to be an absolute legend. He is the wonder kid of the future, and he goes and proves everyone wrong. So in those minutes that he kind of gets that goal, let's say it's, I don't know, the 10th minute of the game, and then 5 minutes later you've got Salai getting the 2-1 win, or the 2-1 lead back, I should say. So, yeah, you're looking at about 15 minutes in right now after that Salai goal. So, 5 minutes before Mbappe scored, you think, it's nothing. It's nothing. It really isn't. But Mbappe just completely goes off on one. I don't know what happens to his footballing ability, but what happens is, right, there's 8 minutes after this goal from Salah and after the goal from Mbappe originally, and in these 8 minutes and maybe 7 minutes after the Salah goal, Mbappe gets another two to get a 13-minute hat trick. Unbelievable scenes. So that means it's 3-2 to France, and then the second half comes around, and then it's kind of petering out a little bit. But Griezmann gets a fourth for France. Right, now we've got the game between Portugal and Germany. Now, this is a tough one, I've got to admit. But Germany actually haven't been that good recently. And yeah, they failed a few tournaments recently. I know they won the World Cup in 2014. You know, that was a period where their squad was full of young wonder kids, not to mention Mario Götze, of course, who got the winner against Argentina. But yeah, in the World Cup, they weren't good. And they weren't amazing, to be fair, in the last Euros. So I've got a feeling this could be an opportunity for Portugal. It's going to be tough, and we're going to probably need to beat one of Germany or France, but we can maybe take an L on the other game to try and get in that top two. But you can qualify as third if you just kind of finish as one of the best of the third place teams. But I'm going for it. I'm going for a Portugal dub. Portugal 2, Germany 1. And goal scorers here, I think Ronaldo will score once again. And then the second goal for Portugal, Bernardo Silva. Germany get back a consolation, though, from Toni Kroos, but it's not enough to deny Portugal of the 3 points. We then have the game between Spain and Poland. And I've just got a feeling, the way these teams kind of set up, Spain very attacking, Poland Lewandowski, it's going to be a very fun game to watch. And, you know, with Poland, you look at people like Bednarek, he's a threat from set pieces, but he's also quite leaky at the back. So it'll be interesting, but I'm going for 3-3. This could be one of the games of the tournament, in my opinion. And in this group game, I should say, Poland will take the lead through Lewandowski. Spain will get their equaliser, though, and this will be, this time, from Jordi Alba. And then the second one for Spain, to make it 2-1 in their favour, I'm going for Koke. Maybe he's not even in the squad, to be fair, actually. That might be a bit of a sloppy decision. Instead, we're saying a goal from Rodri, the Man City man, to make it 2-1 to Spain. Then Poland equalise again, this time from Milik, to make it 2-2. And then Poland go ahead, unbelievably, from Bednarek. So it's 3-2 at this point to Poland. But Spain still have the last laugh. They get the equaliser to make it 3-3. And that goal will come from Alvaro Morata once again. Right, now we've got the game between Italy and Switzerland. Oh, sorry, no, Italy and Wales. And we've had that one already. With this one, I feel like Italy are probably going to win. Wales will be punching above their weight if they got a win against Italy. But they've done it against Belgium in the last Euros, so you never know. But I feel like this is a really tough task for Wales. Italy are one of the favourites. They've got a very good squad. And they went on that amazing unbeaten run under the management of Roberto Mancini. So, yeah, I've just got a feeling it'll be Italy to win this one with 2-0 victory coming with goals from Verratti, who doesn't get many goals, but I think he will this time. And then the second goal for Italy, I'm going for, in defence, Spinazzola. Well, it might not happen, but it might, so go for it. Then we've got the game between Turkey and Switzerland, and I'm going to say this is a tight one. I think both these sides, they'll probably be fighting for second/third in the table, but I think that they won't be separated on the day. So the first goal of the day for Switzerland will be Granit Xhaka, and then the second goal for Switzerland, not Breel Mbolo this time. I actually think it's going to be Severovic. So then you think, easy dub for Turkey. Easy dub for Switzerland. But no, Turkey have other ideas. Kalanoglu with a goal from a free kick to get them back in the contest. And then it's between one of Karaman or Soyuncu. Let's go Soyuncu for the second goal to make it a draw and make Switzerland absolutely fuming about that result. Then we've got the game between Austria and Ukraine. All right, now hear me out. I've just got this thing about Austria. I don't know why. I think they're going to do really well in this Euros. So I'm going for it. I'm going to say, in order for them to kind of fit with my prediction of finishing top in the group, another spoiler, for Austria, they're going to win this game 7-0. All right? You can catch teams on bad days, and I think this is going to be one of them. It's going to be like a repeat of the World Cup, but Brazil, Germany. I think that was 7-1 actually. But yeah, that kind of thing really. So just hear me out, all right? The goals in this 7-0 win for Austria against Ukraine. The first one is going to be from Marko Arnautovic. The second, I'm saying Marcel Sabitzer. The third is going to be Julian Baumgartlinger. Then the fourth is again Arnautovic. The fifth is from defender, that is Martin Hinteregger. The sixth is from Sabitzer again. And the seventh is a very unfortunate own goal from Ukraine. And that own goal, I think, will be scored by defender. That is... Oh... It is going to be... I'm not sure who's going to play, to be honest. We'll go for Matvienko for Shakhtar. The defender scores an own goal, so that makes it 7 to Austria. Unbelievable, Jeff. That would be fun to watch. Anyway, now we've got North Macedonia away. I don't know why I keep saying that. Versus Netherlands. So this is another one where I feel there could be a battering. I mean, 7-0 is bad, but this is not quite as bad, but still not great. I think when you look at North Macedonia versus Netherlands, there's a massive golfing class. So, yeah, they'll get their victory on the opening day, North Macedonia, but they will struggle for the rest of it, I think. In terms of goal scorers, I think there's going to be a 5-1 victory for Netherlands, and I think North Macedonia to score the first goal. Now, I feel like it might be Alioski, to be fair here. Or if not, then maybe Bardi, but maybe Alioski. So yeah, we'll stick with that. Then Holland, you know, they might be 1-0 down, but they just can score goals. And Depay gets the equaliser for them. Then the next one is not going to come from De Ligt. Instead, it's going to be De Vrij. And then the next goal for Holland, Gini Wijnaldum. Wijnaldum scores again. And then Donny van der Beek with a much-awaited goal to make it 5 for Holland. Right, now we've got the game between Finland and Belgium. And I think just like the Denmark-Belgium game, Belgium, it's not going to be an easy game because, you know, they've got Courtois up against Pukki. It's going to be an interesting battle, that one. But I still feel Belgium is strong enough to come through this one fairly unscathed. So I think it'll be 2-0 to Belgium over Finland. And who's going to get the goals in this matchup? Well, I think one of them is going to be from Eden Hazard again. But the next one is going to be Kevin De Bruyne. I think by then he'll probably be fit to play. All right, now we've got the game between Russia and Denmark. This is on the 30th of June, 2021. Or is it? No, sorry, 21st of June, I think, actually. So this is going to be a tight game, in my opinion. Russia are going to go for it. Denmark, we know, have got a lot of attacking threat. And Schmeichel, I think, is going to put in a man-of-the-match performance. But it's going to end Russia 1, Denmark 2. And goal scorers here. I think that the first goal will be scored by Denmark. And it will be Dolberg. I think he plays for them. If it isn't him, then I guess I could say Yusuf Poulsen. He does play for Denmark, doesn't he? Yeah. Russia to equalise, though, through their forward, their main man. That's Zuba, Artem Zuba. But then the second goal for Denmark, it's a free kick. It's a special from Christian Eriksen. All right, now we've got the game between Czech Republic and England. Now, I think England are going to probably top the group. But I just feel that they'll have eventually one little mishap in the group. And this will be that game. Czech Republic, they beat them in the qualifying, I think. Or at least before that. So they know how to beat this England team. And I think there'll be a few mistakes, a few complacent heads. And Czech Republic to win 2-1 on the day. And I think the first goal of the game will be scored by England. And this time it's not going to be Harry Kane. It's going to be Mason Mount. But I actually feel that Czech Republic will just kind of shrug that goal off and really come back stronger. And their goal, I think, will come... let me just find my goal scorers because I seem to have lost it. Yeah, so the goal, once again... Where's it gone? Right, I'm not having this. Where has it gone? It's literally vanished off the face of the earth, my prediction. It's just not good enough. It genuinely isn't. Right, here we go. Got it. Right, for this one, we're going for an interesting score of... Yeah, no, it genuinely has... It's vanished. I thought I had it back, but no, I don't. We're going for 2-1 to Czech Republic to kind of make it quick. So yeah, England score first through Mason Mount, then Czech Republic get the equaliser, and Czech Republic will score through Derrida from the penalty spot. I think he might take a pen, or maybe it will be someone else, but anyway. If it isn't Derrida, then I guess you could say for Czech Republic, once again, it will be Souček. But the second goal for Czech Republic, after that Souček goal, I think will come from the midfielder. That is, what's his name? I think he's got long hair. I seem to remember that. Yes, I remember him now. It is going to be, in midfield, Alex Král. So he's going to get the second for Czech Republic. 2-1 on the day. Right, now we've got the game between Croatia and Scotland. You've got to back a Croatia win. You know, the difference in team quality, I think, is clear to see here. So I'm saying Croatia 3, Scotland 0. And the goals here for the Croatia are going to be from, first of all, Kramaric. Then a goal from Rebic once again. And then the second goal of the game coming from Rebic. So 3-0 there. All right, now we've got the game between Sweden and Poland. This is going to be tightly contested, but I'm backing Sweden to bounce back from their loss to Slovakia. And the goal, I think, will come from Ken Sema. I'd love to see it. Allow it, please, over Poland. Now we've got the game between Slovakia and Sweden. Oh, sorry, Spain, I should say. I just did Sweden. I think this is going to be another comfortable win for Spain, you'd imagine, because, yeah, all right, Slovakia will go for it, but I think Spain would be too strong, and I think there'll be 2 scored here from Ferran Torres. I've just realised, by the way, that with like what I had about like goal scorers and like top scorers and stuff, I've not actually necessarily reflected that in who I've said to score for like top scorers. So you just have to kind of take those 2 things separately. I've said Ronaldo to be top scorer, but I haven't, you know, necessarily got calculations of how many goals he'll get for me to be top scorer, if you get what I mean. So just go with the flow, basically. But yeah, Torres, I think, was scored both goals in this Slovakia match. Now we've got the game between Germany and Hungary, and this is a realistic chance of a victory for Germany. I think despite that France stalemate, I think this can be much, much better. Hungary will make it tight. They'll park the bus, so to speak, but Germany will have the win. 1-0 on the day, and instead of a blank, I think Germany will just have that moment of inspiration late on. But who's it going to be from? Serge Gnabry, in my opinion. And then we have Portugal v France. This is another big game. I feel like France could be one of the teams that kind of finishes with the most goals scored in the tournament. And to be honest, I haven't counted up how many goals like this is finished with. I think earlier I said, yeah, I'll predict like 119 goals or something crazy like that. In the last Euros, it was 108, I do believe. But if you're really that interested, count up the amount of goals I've predicted in all the games. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, I'm backing Germany. And I think that it will be a goal from Germany and from Serge Gnabry. But this one, Portugal-France, obviously it's a repeat of the last Euro 2016 final. So it's going to be tense. It's going to be nervy. But I just feel France will be able to win this one. I think France are just too strong and they probably will top the group. But Portugal comes second. I'd take that very much. It would be all right to finish third for Portugal, but it would be nervy because then we have to kind of look over our backs and see all the third place teams to see who are the best 4 of those 6 groups. But I'm backing us to do fairly well in the group, and Portugal lose the final group game versus France 2-1. And in terms of goal scorers in this final Portugal game, I'm going to go for a very nice goal from Bruno Fernandes. But then France hit back with their own goals from, first of all, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, who else at this point? He's just so good. And then Paul Pogba, I think, will get the second goal for France. All right, let's move on then to the next round of games. And while we've just done those group results all finished, let me tell you how I'm predicting the groups, because it leads in quite nicely, because those results, of course, calculate how the groups look. So let's start with Group A. We've got Italy, Switzerland, Wales and Turkey. Now, I mentioned earlier, I don't think I rate Turkey. I think they could do decent, but I'm just not feeling it, and I think they will finish bottom of the group. So I'm saying they'll finish on 1 point in the group stage, finish 4th with no wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. In 3rd, we're going for Wales. I think Wales are very similar to Turkey in terms of quality, but they've just got that star quality in terms of their individuals. I feel like Turkey haven't got enough of them. Gareth Bale, even Hal Robson-Kanu could be involved. Kiefer Moore's had a great season with Cardiff, and Harry Wilson as well. But also players like Aaron Ramsey, players like even Wayne Hennessy can make a few good saves. So they've got that individual quality, and I think that'll just play the role. But I think Wales and Turkey, they'll actually probably score this similar amount of goals. but it'll just be that key thing that Wales concede a few less than Turkey. And I think that they'll get 1 win, Wales, and 2 losses in the groups. So they'll finish in third with 3 points. That means they could, in theory, finish as one of the best third place teams, but we'll move on to that later. In second, though, I'm going with Switzerland because I think Switzerland have got very good players. Shaqiri and, so many experienced players for these tournaments. I think their shot stopper as well, Jan Sommer, is very good. I've got a solid defence in there. So I don't see where it's going to go too wrong for Switzerland. I could be wrong, but I'm going for 1 win, 1 draw and 1 loss in the group stage with 4 points, 4 scored and 4 conceded. So nice even record there for Switzerland, but they will do enough to finish second. And then Italy, I think, are going to top the group. A lot of people going with them, with big favourites of them to win the whole thing. And they've just been in really, really good form. They're, the new modern Italy. They've kind of adapted their team and they are looking very, very good. So I'm going to say they win all their group games. They score 9 points over the course of those games, and they score 6. They concede 2. They're very solid at the back with Chiellini and Bonucci. Right, let's move on to Group B, and we probably won't go as much into depth of points and stuff, but I'm just saying where I'm ranking them. So Finland. I'm sorry, Finland fans, but I'm putting you 4th because that's a tough group. I think Denmark, Russia, they both got quality. And yeah, all right, they're the best kind of players to face, the best teams to face other than Belgium, but it's still good players and good teams from those nations. So it's a tough ask for Finland. Timo Pukki's going to score goals. I'm probably quite confident of that, but they don't offer much else and they are going to struggle defensively. So it will be a surprise to see them get many clean sheets. But I actually feel like in terms of points, it could be closer than we think. I think Finland could finish on 3 points and get that 1 win in the group stage, as well as Russia, as well as Denmark. But the key thing will be that Russia and Denmark score more goals and they have a better, actually a similar goal difference, but just they could score more goals, basically. So, yeah, I think Russia are going to finish third because I think Russia are better than Finland, and I also think that Russia will take confidence from their, World Cup 2018 great run that they went on. But they are still an ageing squad, and the manager still struggles to kind of get the player, get the team playing that kind of consistent attacking football. So I'm not sure about Russia, to be honest. Denmark in second, though, I think they are very, very strong, and they won't get that many results, I actually think, because they do rely a lot on Eriksen, and if that doesn't go well, then they're in trouble. But they are still a very good side. Schmeichel in goal, Yusuf Poulsen, Christensen, and of course, you've got other players in there, like the likes of, from Brentford, you've got Matthias Jensen. So, yeah, some good players in there, definitely for Denmark. But I feel they've finished second because Belgium are a class of their own. They are what they call the golden generation. They have struggled to go far in these competitions, but it's still a very important Belgium team, and I think that they are good enough to get 3 wins out of 3 and finish on 7 goals and 1 conceded in this knockout stage. So Belgium defence could be a decent one in Euro Fantasy. But yeah, I rate Belgium, and I think they should top the group. In Group C, we're going for Austria topping the group. I know it's bold, but I'm just going for it. I've said that I think Austria will be the surprise package. And yeah, all right, they didn't look amazing against England, but they had a lot of players not playing. And I just think that, people like David Alaba can provide attack and defence. So they've got that nice balance, I think, Austria. And Dragovic as well, decent player. If he's not playing for Switzerland, he might play for Austria. Yeah, just a few really good technical players in there. So yeah, why not Austria? Let's go for it. And I think they actually will score quite a lot of goals. And if they don't get the service for Marko Arnautovic, then that will obviously be hindered. But I'm going for a very good group stage for Austria. 6 points for them. 2 wins, 1 draw. 2 wins, 1 loss. And then Netherlands will be closely behind them with the same kind of record. But maybe Austria just concede 1 less goal. I don't know. But I know a lot of people will be back in Netherlands to top the group. And I don't disagree with you, to be honest. But I just feel Austria are going to surprise people. And Netherlands, they have this reputation of always having the promise and the ability, but never quite delivering. And I think that's going to be the same to some extent in this tournament, but they're still going to get a very decent group in terms of their results. And then Ukraine third. I think that Ukraine are stronger than North Macedonia. That's why I put them in there. A lot of people will argue Ukraine finish above Austria, maybe, but I think Ukraine still are struggling for those kind of consistent performances. They have been quite decent in qualifying, and Yarmolenko and Yaremchuk are both decent players, but I just don't feel it's going to happen for them. So they're going to finish in third, in my opinion, with 3 points, just 2 losses and 1 win. And then finally, North Macedonia. It'll be amazing to see them get into the round of 16, but it's not going to happen realistically. I think they'll just get the 1 win, and they'll concede too many goals. 9 conceded won't help them out at all. So I'm going for that, North Macedonia. All right, Group D. And who are we going with top in Group D? It's a big one, but I'm going England. I'm going for it. I think that this will be tight. Croatia will be very competitive with them, but I'm still backing the 3 Lions to get their groups. And I think Croatia will be an interesting one. If they lose that one, it might be harder to get top. But if they can win against Croatia, then they've certainly got a big chance. If not, they'll beat Czech Republic like I didn't predict, and then they obviously lose to Croatia. So yeah, why not England? They've got a very good squad on paper, lots of youth, lots of exciting players, and yeah, they've got that kind of, I call it home advantage, but not really. They'll feel familiar with some of their stadiums they go to, more I guess so in the latter stage of the competition, but still very good side. And I think that despite unconvincing performances in the past and a lot of injuries, obviously with Trent, it will be interesting, but I think they'll do enough. And I probably will say that they pip Croatia on goal difference to that top spot, because maybe England will just be a bit more defensively solid. Croatia, though, are going to be very threatful and very good to watch. Modric is a great player of his time, and they were so impressive in their World Cup campaign last season, 2018. So they can go far, certainly. But I'm going for them in second. Czech Republic third, because I think that they're going to struggle against teams like Croatia and England, but they're still going to be decent, and they're going to be good enough to have a good third place finish, and probably 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, something like that. And then Scotland. I'm sorry, Scotland fans. It's a great moment for you to be here. It's good to have you back, but I don't think they're going to get through. It's a really tough group, in my opinion, for them, and I don't think they're going to win a game in the group. I could be wrong, but I just don't think they've got enough goals in them right now, and they will probably struggle to kind of just tighten up that defence. So that's where I'm going, Scotland in fourth. Group E, we've got fourth Slovakia, because I think that Slovakia, they've got a few decent stars, Duda and Hamsik, but they haven't got enough, I think, of a team spirit to get them through these tough games. Now, it's not the worst group, but I think Poland and Sweden will be very competitive, and then Spain, it will be very hard to stop. So I just feel like Slovakia, they might win the odd game, but they'll probably lose the rest, and they just won't score enough goals, in my opinion. Sweden, on the other hand, I think they're a one to watch as well. I think they'll score quite a lot of goals, but they also could concede quite a lot, so that will probably stop them from finishing second. But they'll have a good go at it. I think Cancelo will be decent enough, and we mentioned Austria doing well. Let's hope Daniel Bachmann is at the forefront of it, but realistically, it's not going to be Bachmann in goal, so it's a bit of a shame in that respect. But I hope Cancelo can get a run out, and it's a new experience for him, so it's going to be a very interesting thing to see how he kind of develops as a player when we get him back in the Prem, how much of an impact that Euros has had on him. But yeah, I'm rooting for Sweden in that respect, but I just feel like Poland and Spain is going to be a really difficult ask to get points off, and that's why Poland, I think, will be second, but only on goals conceded, actually. I think that maybe even on alphabetical, I don't know. I feel like they could be very even, Poland and Sweden, but maybe an even result for Poland as well, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss. But in terms of top for this group, I'm going Spain, because their squad is so strong. I think they'll win 1 game, draw 2 perhaps. They have been nervy in these tournaments, but they're still very strong. And I think they'll probably just pit Poland. Group F, the group of death, of course. Group of DEA, capital F, because it's a group of death. But no, I think France are going to top the group. I'm going for it because a lot of people fancy them to win the Euros. They are, of course, the holders of the World Cup. They got far in the Euro 2016. They got all the way to the final as the host nation. They haven't got that on their side this time, I guess. But I still think their side is amazing. They're the new generation of talent. Even people like Eduardo Camavinga, I don't think he got in the squad for France. So that is a shame. But they are still unbelievably good. It is a crazy, crazy thing to see. So I think they'll score enough goals, and they'll probably keep it quite tight at the back. Portugal in second, though. We'll push them, hopefully. We'll push them quite close. And we'll see what we can do. I think Portugal also are in a really good position right now with their squad. Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo, Diogo Jota, Joao Felix, so much youth, so much exciting players. And I think that we'll take our last Euro 2016 tournament and look at that and show actually maybe we didn't play well enough, but we've still got enough players to do those good performances. So I'm going for us in second, Germany in third, because I think Germany just have been stuttering a little bit and they will probably struggle for goals because there are a few players in there that haven't got the confidence. Timo Werner, one of them. So yeah, I think they'll still play well and they'll still get points, but not, in my opinion, enough to get second. And then, of course, Hungary, I think they have to finish fourth because that group is awful in terms of how difficult it is for Hungary to be competitive in that kind of group. But let's finally wrap up with what we're saying for the best third place teams. And I could go through this and really tell you all the points and the goal differences, but it's too long. So basically, the short of it is, I think it'll be really tight between the third place teams. I think Czech Republic will be the best one, though, because I think they'll score the most and have the best goal difference of anyone. So 4 scored, 4 conceded for Czech Republic. Then Sweden will be very, very close after them, just because they'll score less goals. Germany also just after them because they'll score less goals despite being on the same goal difference. And then the 4th best team will be Wales, in my opinion, just beating Russia, because I think Wales will concede a few less goals than Russia. That means Russia and Ukraine get knocked out of the tournament. So let's move on then to the last 16, or the round of 16, whatever you want to call it. France versus Wales is the first one. This is a tough one to predict, but I've gone with France 3, Wales 0. Goal scorers here, I think that it's going to be another tight one to predict, another tough one to predict. But I'm back in France. I think their team is absolutely class. Varane, or Varane I should say, if he plays, will he play? Probably. He'll get the first goal in this 3-0 victory over Wales. The second goal for France, though, I'm going for a little bit of Olivier Giroud. Why not? And then the third goal for France, not probably Thomas Lemar, because I doubt he'll play. Instead, a bit of an unlikely goal, but it's Kimpembe with the goal for the French to make it 3-0. You got to feel bad for Wales at this point, but at least they got to the round of 16. Croatia-Poland. This is the next one in Copenhagen. Very interesting game. I think Croatia, though, will have enough to win. I'm saying Croatia 1, Poland 0. In a cagey game, it's Luka Modric that steps up once again for his national team. Italy v Netherlands is the next one on my list, and it's in London, and it's going to be interesting. These teams have been back for greatness, and I think Netherlands could go further than this, but I'm just saying they'll come unstuck against Italy. Italy 1, Netherlands 0, and in terms of the only goal of this game, which will be cagey and will be nervous, I think it will come from Immobile. Ciro Immobile. Now we've got Belgium versus Germany, and this side of the draw is a little bit confusing because it's like you've got first of A versus third of B and blah, 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 but it's just the way that mine's come out, so let's see if I can get these fixtures bang on. That would be amazing. Belgium-Germany is a great game, though, in Bilbao, and I feel like this could be exciting. But I'm going for Germany because I feel like they've got more experience and they've got the know-how to get further on in these kind of competitions, whereas Belgium, they still haven't got further enough in the recent tournaments. So Germany to score 2-0, and the goals will scored by, I don't know. All right, let's say Serge Gnabry again. And then the second goal for Germany, I would say Musiala, because I think he's going to be amazing wonder kid, but he probably won't play, to be honest. Let's say instead, in the midfield, it's going to be a goal for the Germans from, let's say, yeah, let's go for it. It's going to be Joshua Kimmich. Right, now we've got the game between, after that 2-0 Germany win, Austria-Sweden. Budapest is the destination for this one. And this is going to be another one that is going to be tight and nervy. But I'm just going to say that after full time, it finishes Austria 1, Sweden 1, with goals from David Alaba yet again. And for Sweden, let's go for Grankvist, the oldie, because I think he's pretty sure he takes penalties. I think he will play. If not, then I guess someone like Seb Larsson or... No, actually, I prefer someone for Sweden like... I mean... It's hard with Sweden because they haven't got Zlatan. It's where do they find their goal threat from? But no, most likely it will be a goal for Sweden from Svensson or actually now Emil Forsberg. He'll get the goal to equalise in this game against Austria. And Austria, I think I already said for the goal scorer. So if I didn't, then I think I said Arnautovic or something. That will be it anyway. But it will go to extra time. So what will happen in extra time? I actually feel like it will be after the game is ended, So I'm not sure how this works, but I think it's basically if it's 1-1 in the first 90 minutes and then there's 2 goals scored. So it might be 2-3 after extra time. So that's all the goals added up. So 2 for Austria, 3 for Sweden. So therefore 2 more for Sweden in the game and then 1 more for Austria. Or it could be like 2-3 in terms of added on to the 1-1. I doubt it's added on because it might be the final score. But anyway, I'm just going to stick with this. Austria 2, Sweden 3 after extra time. So in terms of the rest of the goals, I think Sweden will score in extra time. And this time their goal will come from forward Marcus Berg. So makes it 2-1. And then I think that again in extra time, Austria will get the game level. And this time I think they will get the goal by the unlikely player to score. But I'm going for it. In defence, it is a little bit of Martin Hinteregger. That makes it 2-2. Very exciting game. But then Sweden, in extra time, finish it off as 3-2. And this time, the goal for Sweden is coming from midfielder that is not Cancelo. It's instead Christopher Olsen. And if it's not him, then let's just go for Philip Helander from Rangers. Right, let's get amongst it. The next game in these last of 16 is Switzerland against Denmark. Another tight game. I think this will be an interesting one in Amsterdam, but I'm going for Switzerland 1, Denmark 3. And Switzerland, I think, will score the first goal in this game, and it will be through Briel Mbolo. But then Denmark hit back with 3 goals of their own, and they will be very much looking good in this game. I think their performance will be impressive. And the goals here for the away side, or for Denmark, Braithwaite, first of all. Then we've got a goal from, once again, Christian Eriksen. Defender, this time, Yannick Vestergaard as well. So 3-1 after goals from Braithwaite, Eriksen, and Vestergaard. Right, now we've got the game between Spain and Czech Republic. Now this has got to be a game that Spain win, surely, in Glasgow. But I'm going for Spain 1, Czech Republic 1 after the 90 minutes. So therefore, the goals here will be coming from Alvaro Morata again. And then for Czech Republic, let's have a look at some Czech Republic players. Let's go for, up front, Patrick Schick. So it's 1-1 after 90 minutes. But then it will get interesting because in extra time, it remains 1-1. So therefore, it means that on penalties, Spain will win this one by 4 penalties to 2. Now we've got England v Portugal. Very big. Obviously, it's the 2 sides of my nationality. So, obviously, I'm going to be supporting Portugal. I've said that before. I identify more with Portugal. I'm English, of course. I'm born in England. But Portugal is my team. And I'm going to back them because I just identify with them. But it is what it is. It's going to be interesting. It will divide a few opinions, obviously. But England are going to go for this. Portugal are going to go for this. It's going to be very tight. I'm going to say, though, England 1, Portugal 2. And goal scorers here, it's hard to predict, to be honest, in this kind of game. But let's say Portugal score their goal through Renato Sanchez. Then England equalise through their defender, that is John Stones. But Portugal score their second goal. And this time it's not Ronaldo because we've got other great players. It's instead Diogo Jota. All right, now let's move on to the grand quarterfinals. We've got France versus Croatia. I'm going for a 2-0 France victory. Reason for that, they're the better team and they already got them the advantage over them in the final of the 2018 World Cup. I think they can do it in this kind of level in St. Petersburg. 2nd of July kickoff and it will be a 2-0 France win. So here we go. Goal scorers for France. We're going to go for not Giroud this time. Instead, we're going Kingsley Coman. I'm not sure if he's actually on the plane, I should say, for France. But instead, actually, we'll go for Lucas Hernandez, the left back, to score for France their first goal of this game. And then the second goal to seal it very comfortably for France. I'm going to go for Antoine Griezmann. It could be Mbappe, but I'm going with Griezmann. Right, now the next game is between Italy and Germany. Munich is the destination, so you could say it gives an advantage for Germany. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I'm saying Italy 2, Germany 2 in a great game. So Bonucci to score the first for Italy. Germany equalise through Timo Werner. Then Germany go ahead in the game. Very interesting stuff indeed. And this goal will come from Serge Gnabry again. But then Italy get their equaliser to make it 2-2. And it's once again the absolute baller, Lorenzo Insigne. But in extra time, it finishes 1-0 in extra time. So that means that overall it will be 3-2 after extra time to Italy, I think. So the only goal of this extra time for the Italians to make them into the final four, absolute scenes for them, it's going to be Immobile. All right, now let's move on to the matchup between Sweden and Denmark. This is in Baku, and this is going to be another tight one. I'm going for 0-0 after 90 minutes, then 0-0 after extra time, and on penalties. I think that, interestingly enough, it will be an interesting little resounding win. Now, I'm not sure actually what Sweden will get in their penalty shootout, so I might be wrong here. Apologies if I am, but oh dear, I think we might have scuppered this a little bit. What have we done here? Deary me. Right, it's not actually allowing me to fill it in, which is really quite annoying. I'm not sure why. Oh dear. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We're going to say on the penalty shootout, it's Sweden 2, even though it's not letting it going into the system. Denmark 4. You heard it here first. On penalties for Denmark. Right, final four. Let's go. France, Italy. It's in London. It's a big one. I'm saying France to win this one. 3-1. And goal scorers here, Griezmann, then Mbappe, and then Benzema. And for Italy, the goal will come from midfielder Chiesa. And finally, we've got Denmark against Portugal. I'm a little bit cut for time, so I'm going to have to nail it down. Sorry, people. 2-0 to Portugal. And the goals here, by the way, the Italy goal, we said already. The goals here for Portugal, 2 from Ronaldo. So the final, France-Portugal, I'm going for Portugal to get the dub. And I think on the day, it will be France 1, Portugal 3. The France goal, I'm going to go for Benzema again. But Portugal score their goals through, first of all, Bernardo Silva. Then it will be in midfield, Bruno Fernandes. And finally, Cristiano Ronaldo. We're going to have to wrap it up there, people. It would have been longer a little bit, but it's already been quite long to be fair. So hope you have enjoyed. Smash a like on it. These are my all score lines, and that pretty much covers most things. We were going to go through each team, and we were going to go through like other stuff in terms of the Euros, but that's basically all I got time for, people. So smash a like on the video. It took a while to make, I'll admit, but it's been a really fun one. Every single scoreline, every single scorer, it's all done, and we've predicted how all of the groups have looked. So I hope you have enjoyed. See you next time.